Hey, this is Mark from SixFiveTurboGarage.com. I'm going to start a series here of replacing the transmission in 93 GMC four-wheel drive pickup. I apologize for the rather crusty conditions out here. Don't quite have my shop built yet, so I'm having to do everything out of this old dirt floor horse barn, for crying out loud. But the important thing is to show the steps of getting this done. I'm not a professional mechanic, so I won't be talking above anybody's heads, I don't think. I'm a experienced mechanic. I've been working on cars forever, but I don't have, I'm just like most of you, most everybody watching this video. I'm working out of my garage with commonly available tools. I will occasionally get I will always try to use the proper tools. I'm not going to be using cinder blocks and crowbars, for crying out loud. But you know, I'm not going to wheel this into a nice, clean, warm shop with a hydraulic lift and using all of the professional tools that some people don't have. I'm going to go through this process and try to show as much detail and experience things as we go along and solve problems as we go along, just like you would. I've never done this before, so we're certainly going to learn together. I do have the proper shop manual, so we'll be referring to that as we go along. So this is obviously a manual transmission, NV4500, that I bought from Midwest Transmission Center. They've got what looks to be one of the best processes out there as far as manufacturing and selling of transmissions online for this particular model, anyway, that I found. Fairly enjoyable and easy to deal with. I gotta say that I did have some problems. It turned out, just my own personal experience or personal circumstance, it turned out to be pretty serious. I needed the transmission at a certain date, and you know, not to really complain that much. The company looks really good. It was just a slip up by one person, but the transmission ended up getting here a week later than I expected, and it cost me a lot. It cost me more money than the transmission even cost me itself. So I got to say that, put that out there, that everything else was good, though. The price was good. This again is a NV4500 for 91 through 2006 GMC Chevrolet 4x4 chassis for a 6.5 turbo diesel, of course. I also got the gear oil. Is a very special synthetic 75/90 gear oil that they buy in bulk, and then they'll sell it to you in smaller quantities, which is pretty amazing, and for a reasonably decent price too. I mean, it's expensive as hell, guys, so you know, you're not going to get around that, but it's worth it. Other people have tried other gear oils. I suspect that different gear oils put in my transmission, and that's why the third and fourth synchros had gone out of it, which is fine. I drove it for 8 years on bad third and fourth synchros, but now I'm getting ready to be towing quite a bit, an RV around the country, and I got to have those synchros working perfectly. So I had to swap it out, but other people have tried oils, and this thing is super, super finicky for the type of oil you put in. The only success I've ever heard of people using is an AMSOIL synthetic gear oil that's people have had some luck with. But personally, the expense is a big one initially, but you're not changing oil out like you do in the motor, so in the engine itself. So you're putting this stuff in there, and it pretty much stays there. You don't change it with any frequency at all. So you make the initial purchase, and then it's done, and your transmission will last longer and work and shift a lot smoother. So the gear oil they had, the transmission itself is a quality rebuild. All the research that I did showed me that they do a very good rebuild. You see the tag there. They actually run these on a dyno to make sure everything is shifting properly and functioning properly. The extension housing here is actually upgraded to a steel unit, the old one being aluminum, I believe. So that's a standard upgrade Midwest Transmission has available cryogenics for their transmissions, which was pretty much unnecessary. Basically what you're looking at there is if anybody's doing some pulls, some truck pulls, some very high performance stuff, and you're breaking parts, you're breaking main shafts, you're breaking some components in the engine or in the transmission, then they can do cryogenics, which brings it very sub below zero. I don't know the specifics on it, but it adds a great amount of strength to those individual components. And they do have that available at Midwest Transmission. So seems like there was some other upgrades, but they, again, I was looking for the best, and really it turned out to be unnecessary. Like the cryogenics would have been nice, but I'm not doing high horsepower crazy truck pulls and weight pulls or sled pulls, there we go. And so I'm not bringing components, so I don't know which components to have told them to check. So anyway, their standard rebuild was going to be good enough for me, even with my power modifications, a bigger turbo, the 18 turbo, water methanol injection, turned up injection pump, these various different, all the modifications you can pretty much think of on the DB2 mechanical injected engine. I've just about got all completed, so this transmission should be able to handle it. The NV4500 is a very durable transmission. So that's that. What else? Oh, so if you're a first-time buyer, first-time customer with Midwest Transmission, you want to make sure to pay attention to their coupon, online coupon availability there, and you can get $100 off. So just to let you know, this was shipped from Minnesota to Washington State. That'll give you a little bit of an idea of the distance. It took 3 days after they finally shipped it. But it was a 3-day ship time, and it cost $160. So that wasn't very much. But I have to tell you this, I don't know if everybody knew about this, but if you have a commercial spot to ship to where they can unload it with a forklift or the like, then you can save a lot of money. I didn't do an before and after comparison as far as asking them the cost, but I believe it was probably double, at least $100 onto that $160. So it was $160 shipping, which is not that bad at all for this bulk of a product. And then I got the $100 off for the coupon there, so it really cost me $60 to ship this thing. So that was a pretty neat deal. You should take advantage of that, make sure. So that's just about it on this intro. We're going to start out by prep on the truck. Your typical safety, we're going to be underneath the truck. Not only the truck itself is heavy, mine is 8,200 pounds fully loaded. It's a long bed 4-door, 1-ton heavy-duty chassis, so it's a heavy son of a gun. And the transmission itself weighs about 200 pounds, I think. So we're going to have to really be careful in not only damaging components, but damaging fingers and body parts. So we'll start out with that and then move forward. And so we will see you then.